Hey guys, and welcome back to Lift More Monday. I'm here with Cody today. We're going to be talking about internal rotation of the hip. It's kind of been a hot topic recently, and a lot of people are realizing the importance of hip internal rotation to squatting and other movements, but they have a hard time getting it, whether that's because of bony positioning or too much muscle tension or lack of control. We're going to show you a drill today that we really like for helping people get control and gain some internal rotation. So Cody's actually pretty good right now, but in the past he's struggled a little bit with the same thing. So we're going to show you a pre and post after we do the drill. So he's just going to actively internally rotate a little bit just to show you where he's moving. And it's not terrible, but he's a little bit restricted there in that left hip. So what this drill is we're going to inhibit the TFL, or the Tensor Fascia Latae. It's a small muscle on the front and the outside of that hip that actually, because of the positioning of most people's pelvis and their posture, ends up doing way more work than it's actually supposed to. A lot of people complain of tightness in the front of that hip off to the side a little bit, and they'll try to foam roll it out a lot. They'll get some temporary relief, but it never really stops because we're not in a good enough position to use our anterior fibers of our glute medius, which is actually going to help to internally rotate us and center that femur, or that bone in the acetabulum or the socket. So we're getting false internal rotation or internal rotation being done by that TFL, which is just doing too much work already. So Cody's going to set up on the wall. This is one of my favorite drills from the Postural Restoration Institute. It doesn't get talked about very much, but for people who have problems shutting that TFL off and feeling their anterior glute med, this is a great one to start with before you get into some of the more difficult ones. So he's going to line up in about 90-90. He's got to find the right wall so that he can push his butt and his leg into that wall. He's going to make sure he's rounded over a little bit with a good strong exhale. The first thing he's going to do is he's going to raise this leg up a little bit higher. Up a little higher, good. Now, before he does anything else, he's going to press the back of his left leg, his top leg, into that wall. And this is going to inhibit that TFL. We're extending the hip, we're turning our hamstring and glute, we're inhibiting the TFL. And now from here, he's going to abduct and externally rotate that bottom leg a little bit. And now he's going to try to internally rotate this top leg. As he pushes into the wall and holding this position, he's going to breathe, okay? So we're inhibiting TFL by pushing into the wall, and now he's internally rotating to fire that anterior glute med, which is going to help center that femur in the socket and also give him an opportunity to train in internal rotation while getting good breathing in this position. So he's going to do about 4 to 6 breaths, holding that position, really driving into the wall and finishing each breath by holding for 2 seconds before he inhales again. Got one more good one. Full exhale, again, driving in. Just feeling that on the outside of the hip, not necessarily in the front. Good flex. All right, now Cody's going to show you a little bit of post-test. Just see if he's gained any more IR. And you can see he's coming out to the side a little bit more. He's not feeling as much in the front of that hip. It's much more flowing and easy. And if he was walking around, you would feel that that hip feels a little bit more centered in the socket. This is a great one to do after you reposition your pelvis with some of the 90-90 breathing drills that we'll show you later, or that you can find on Dark Side Strength's website. But this is a great one to train in some IR and kind of inhibit that TFL, which a lot of people have a problem with. That's Lift More Monday. We'll see you guys next week.